cities. It's been the brutality of a mob. I will use whatever force is necessary to restore order.
Shit I do like.
A state of chaos and disorder is upon us. Will you take up arms? Will you help us make our last stand? The time is now. Let us be heard as we sing our way into battle. It's time to light up the sky with fire.
Tonight, I want to talk to you about violence in our cities. It's been the brutality of a mob. I will use whatever force is necessary to restore order.
Get your ass up. We know how to turn it up. 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 Get your ass.
answers. But now science has opened the door to the unknown.
Come say goodbye. Sayonara. come say goodbye. Sayonara.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Newell Summer Cup 2020 finals. I'm John Scosser. I'm joined alongside my broadcast partner, who is William Dusk.
Hey there.
And today we're bringing you a best of 3 series, which is brought to you by Red Bull nonetheless. We're playing on patch 10.16. Just a reminder that Yon is disabled and Lilia is enabled for the tournament. Coming in, we have the dominant team that's been the defending champions right now. They've been together for 2 years and different aliases as a team, and they're the 5 washed-up randoms. We have a group that's played together for a while. 4 members. We have Seraz, the jungler, whose debut season is this season. I'm pretty sure it's their last year of uni, as you said, right, William?
Yeah, for 4 out of 5 of them, bar Sarah's, this will be their last year competing in Newell.
Yeah, indeed. And on the other side, we have Cabbage Family.
Yeah, of course. So going into this game, we're gonna just have to keep an eye out for these matchups going forward. Both teams have sort of playstyles that we hope at least will play into each other and give us some really fun games to be watching. So I think we'll just go through now the players if you want to hit it off with 5 washed-up randoms.
Yeah, and on the top side, we have Victorio, the man who's after Geomancy's love, as we spoke before the broadcast. He's studying quantity surveying, calls himself the Donamite connoisseur. So I guess when I need some advice, I'll go up to him. Side of the jungle, we have the newbie, as we like to call him, Seraz, carrying on the team's legacy next year, we hope, for the Newell. Mid lane, we have Barry, who's known to tilt quite easily, apparently. As mentioned by the captain, these aren't my words, but you know. Bot side, we have Nacho, who likes to play, pop off on the gate. He does computer science. And as the support, we have the team captain, Bipolar Sunshine, a Malaysian ex-pro, or still a pro, actually, because he's still playing competitive league in a way, right?
Doubting the competitiveness of this league, sir? What are you on?
He's a shot caller, 4 or 5 washed-up randoms, studying psychology, the captain as well. We got to look out for him, obviously, since he's a pro. He's got the skills, playing in Malaysia nonetheless. And take it away, William, with the Cabbage Family.
Yeah, of course, they're running it down from top to support. We first see Alphamos studying biomedical sciences. And this is where we're going to see a lot of the Cabbage Family play coming through, because they are a really top-heavy focus team. They love to play around this guy. And even when he's on the less dominant picks, like we've seen in the past with the Shen, he's still absolutely able to make plays and really conduct how his team plays. In the jungle, we've got Pope, who loves to play these power farming junglers, really get scaled up, and his pocket pick ass we saw come out last week and throughout this league is the Ornn jungle, one of his favorites. He's the shot caller, he's the team captain, and he's studying political science and international relations. In the mid lane, we have Sean F90. He prefers to play these scaling mid laners and is a very more safe-sided player, as we'll see with the rest of Cabbage Family's team. He's studying marketing. Gregors tends to play these weak side bot laners, more looking like the Ezreal and the Senna, looking to scale up and more help his team than be that playmaking ADC, although we have seen him pop off in multiple instances. He's studying economics. And finally, in the support role is mostly Grumpy. I hope he's not. And he prefers to play these heavy roaming or sort of strong solo supports. So throughout this game, I mean, we kind of see the two teams, their play style. They're going to be bouncing off each other for a lot because Cabbage Family really love to play towards the top side of the map. Whereas as we've seen in previous games, 5 washed up randoms is more than happy to play towards the bot side.
Indeed, just to correct myself, previously Yon is actually enabled. Apologize, I was under the impression he was still disabled. So, if any of the teams feel confident enough to bring him up in the grand finals of the Summer Cup, brought to you by Red Bull, yeah. So, to bounce off you, the 5 washed up randoms, they're the dominant team that have been winning tournaments back to back. I'm pretty sure they're a familiar name for most teams as well that have been competing in the Newell. On the other side, we have Cabbage Family, the semi-final artists, pretty much. Used to choke at semi-finals, finally broke the curse this year, made it to the grand finals of the Summer Cup. So we kind of have an idea of what team we'd favor to win. Myself and William, because we were discussing it before the broadcast. But obviously, it's up to interpretation of what team can perform today and how they will do today, you know?
Yeah, of course. And what I think is really interesting and definitely worth mentioning for those of you who don't know, the last time these two teams meet, 5 washed up randoms versus Cabbage Family, the game went to 48 minutes. It was by no means a stomp. It was a very close game between the two. And, you know, I'm sure you hear this from every caster in every league of every game. But I'm really excited for this series just because if we could see games like this coming out, these are going to be an incredibly tight games and an incredibly tight series. So
indeed, we are now into Champion Select. We see Woliver coming in as a ban for the Cabbage Family, first ban of the game. What's your opinion on the ban so far?
So Volibear, you know, one of these staple picks, has seen his nerfs in recent patches, but it was mentioned by both teams as being a pick of high contention and one that certainly Cabbage Family isn't too much in favor of dealing with, so just banning it, getting out of the way, because none of their players like to play it and they don't want to really hand it over to a team with such a powerful jungler such as Seraz. Bans coming out now, we're seeing the Nidalee and the Jhin, not specifically mentioned, but it does sort of lean towards, in terms of Cabbage Family, with the Jhin ban, leaning away from sort of giving the power to these poke strong laners. There you go, the Caitlyn ban coming out as well. They like to play this weaker side bot lane and just have a safe, calm farming lane and let top lane just power out control, allow focus to go over there. And then, of course, on the other side, we see the Gangplank ban to try and take away some of that power.
Pretty sure the Caitlyn is also a target ban to 3 Nacho, the 5 washed up randoms ADC, because he does like to play the Caitlyn quite a lot.
Yeah, of course, you don't want to exactly hand over one of the characters where they specifically said in the form that we asked them to fill out that he would pop off if Caitlyn falls into his hands. And this safe pick, the Ezreal, comes through here for Cabbage Family. They're going to be really happy with that. That's one of their prime picks. They'll love to see it. And the semi-counter coming out in terms of Ashen response is going to be kind of what 5 washed up randoms are looking for here. More just to not necessarily concede the fact that this is going to be an easy farming bot lane, but put a bit of pressure and, you know, force Gregors and mostly Grumpy to really still have to, you know, not just sit back and farm and relax. They are going to have to really be on their best form if they want to be winning this bot lane.
Indeed, we see Ashe Graves being locked in for the side of 5 washed up randoms. Definitely being prioritized as well as the Shen. These are pretty interesting picks. I'm seeing that they're going for their comfort picks. The top laner for Cabbage Family, Alpha Moss, does prefer the Shen, as we discussed earlier as well.
Yeah, and even on one of these picks that many people would just assume, they're coming in with the shield and the taunt of just being a CC bot. We've seen Alpha Moss already, even though it was from a lot of jungle pressure, I believe, going 3-0 in the early laning phase just because of the pressure that was put on by the Graves. So that's not on their side this time, and Evelyn certainly has those weaker early ganks, so we might not be seeing that same kind of play coming through, but regardless, he's come forward.
Sorry to interrupt you there. Just want to note for everyone on the broadcast that the Amumu is the known proxy pick, so players are allowed to proxy a pick if they don't have the champions during Champion Select. So just want to note for everyone that is a known, not an Amumu.
That is an Ornn, right? Okay, so we're seeing the Ornn coming here through 4 or 5 washed up randoms, and this is big because, as I mentioned earlier, Pope is not afraid of picking these weird picks in the jungle. One of his favorite being Ornn. So the fact that they're able to take this away, it takes it away from both Alphamos and Pope in the top side and the jungle. So that's a really effective pick there for the side of 5 washed up randoms. The Quickie ban coming out after we've seen some strong play there in the previous semi-finals for the side of Cabbage Family. He's shown not at all afraid to play these big playmaking picks, as he is happy to scale up and then just be an absolute monster in the late game. So we've seen 2 mid bans here, both teams still waiting to pick their mid and support, if I'm correct.
Kassadin ban coming in, definitely targeted one as well. I'm pretty sure that's one of Sean F's favorite champions to play as well. And they do like scaling as well, so it makes sense to ban the Kassadin and the Gangplank as well.
And it just indicates that into this team comp, 5 wash-up randoms, Barry has played it before. He played it in the semi-finals, actually, to some success. However, just perhaps not wanting to play it into this comp and not wanting to hand it over either, banning it away. And the Vladimir coming out in return, just aware that Barry does really like these scaling picks as well. We're likely to see, unless jungle intervention comes into it, a just nice safe scaling lane here. And there's the pick that does not indicate anything else other than scaling. The Zir coming out for the side of 5 washed up randoms.
It's a late game team comp. That's what they're striving for right now.
Yeah.
We have Ornn, who's obviously the Amumu, as mentioned before in the broadcast. Amumu is a flex pick for Ornn, but Azir is pretty much a late game pick as well. One would say. His early game is not the best. His mid game is not the best. So Kog'Maw being locked in as well. That's another late game fun champion to play again.
So with the Azir, the Ornn, and the Graves locked in here, there's a lot of scaling for the side of 5 washed up randoms, but it's not like it is unmet for the side of Cabbage Family. The Shen does scale very well into the late game, and if the Evelynn is able to get an early advantage, she can be quite the monster. Ezreal, of course, the poster boy right now for kind of mid to late game transition, does really well. But interestingly enough, the Pyke here coming out, so that means we're going to be seeing... Oh, I love this. I'm sorry, but I personally just love to see this pick at all. This is obviously the AP Kog'Maw mid. You love to see it.
Boy. Pyke pick as well in the finals is... Let's just say that's a very confident thing to pull out in a final. 2 hook champions actually coming in because Nautilus being picked as well. Some would call Bipolar Sunshine a hook champion master because he does favor that Thresh, that Nautilus, that Blitzcrank as well.
So yeah, so the Pyke definitely go big or go home champion. If we manage to see big plays made by that'd be great. But we'll have to see. Depends on how this play goes. So we're just getting rid of these proxies now, getting the picks in from both teams. And then we'll get into game as soon as possible. So, looking at these 2 team comps, obviously having to do it from memory right now. I've already stated, but I love the AP Kog'Maw. I love just seeing those missiles rain down as a teammate tries to desperately run away on the other side. What do you think about these 2 teams going into each other?
I think Cabbage Family are playing a very confident draft. I mean, pulling out the Kog'Maw AP mid, pulling out the Pyke support. I mean, they're going big or they're going home, it seems.
Yeah, and you know, in the finals of a huge event like the Newell, you love to see it happen. Both teams going big or going home. A lot, as I mentioned, a lot of scaling for the side of for both teams, but especially for 5 washed up randoms. So we have to be considering, you know, what are the win conditions here for both teams. For 5 washed up randoms, it's fairly obvious. We want to get to late game. We want to see Ornn power up. We want to see Graves power up. We want to see Azir power up, and just get to these big monsters that we know they can be. And you know, Ashe not particularly a super mega late game scaling pick, but really has the ability to help enable these picks like Graves and Azir in the fights. And then what do you think about the team comp in terms of Cabbage Family? What are they having to do to sort of interrupt the scaling that we're seeing on the side of 5 washed up randoms?
I mean, they've got to play to their comp's advantage. It's just they've got to be overly aggressive in the early game, I feel like, because if they let this scale out to the late game, I'm not sure if they're going to have enough enough of a kit to put up with the Ornn, with the Azir, the Nautilus, the Ash Engage as well. There's so much CC on the side of 5 washed up randoms, and I'm not really seeing much disengage on the side of Cabbage Family as well, and they're not very good at team fights. I mean, I don't consider that comp to be good at team fights, and it's a pick comp for sure. But the thing is, can the team play to their strength? To their strengths? Can they play to the champion strengths, which is pretty much just, well, pick disengage. Because I'm pretty sure if they try to fight the 5 washed up randoms team draft head on, just in a theoretic manner, obviously if they're fair, it's going to be different. But in a theory matter, if they try to fight them head on, I'm pretty sure they're not going to have much success, to be honest.
Yeah, Evelyn is not going to be too happy trying to assassinate a Nautilus and an Ornn on the side of 5 washed up randoms. So, if we do manage to get to late game, the Ornn and Nautilus, they're just going to take them and walk away, take the engage from Evelyn. So, really, you're quite right. Going to have to be making these picks. The Kog'Maw is worth mentioning in terms of the lane matchups that we see here. Shouldn't be too interesting, but although that Pyke does indicate they're maybe wanting to go for some of these early plays. But Kog'Maw really does just outlane this Azir. If they're both playing at the same level, it's not really going to be a competition in the early game. So we are just going to have to see how Barry adapts to that. He's not going to have an easy farming route. He's not going to have an easy time at all until he manages to get some core items under his belt, get on the Nashor's Tooth and more damage out. Whereas, Sean's just going to have a whale of a time sending these ballistic missiles down on the enemy team. And yeah, you're quite right in that this is absolutely on a Cabbage Family to win, because the onus is on them to pick up these leads, to accelerate and to play the game to their speed. Because if not, they're just going to get origined. They're just going to get, plain and simple, they're just going to get outscaled. And once you're outscaled with this kind of comp, with an AP Cog who kind of can't do much to the front line, and an Evelyn who's going to be really struggling to look for these picks in the front to back team fights, it's not going to be a pretty picture.
Indeed, maybe the 5-man tag on their side might help as well. They'll have the CAB tag, which obviously stands for Cabbage Family, and on the 5 washed up random side, they don't have that tag synergy. That can be very meaningful. Regardless, guys, we're just going into a short break while we set up for the first game of the Newell Summer Cup Finals, brought to you by Red Bull and the Twitch Student Partner Program, brought to you by Amazon. So just stick with us for a second.
Is it my
there's a sense of urgency. Yeah, you wind me up. Oh, baby, I know I'm falling deep. I never get enough cause we fit so perfectly. I'm not afraid of love. Every night I need you more. Days go longer now without you than before. Just thinking about you gets me high. Cause you know how to leave me so electrified. When you take me down, when you take me down. When you take me down.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the new Summer Cup 2020 powered by Red Bull. Lots of Red Bull as we enter the Summoner's Rift for the first game of a best of 3 series. This is hype. I'm hype. Are you hype, William?
I'm really happy. I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, again, I'm sure there's no commentator who hasn't said this, but I'm really looking forward to this. Hoping it goes to a 3-game series, and if the previous play between these two teams is any indication, that could be the fact. We do see an early invade here to get a ward down.
Bit of a great start by the owner as well. If you look at his items, he's bought refillable pots and the controller, which might be standard in competitive play actually, because he has his passive, doesn't he? But I haven't seen it before personally in solo queue, so let's keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, of course, there's passive being able to forge items in lane. He's not too scared of not getting these starting items straight away, because of course he's not able to forge consumables in the base, so that'll be his reason for picking them up beforehand. And then when he gets enough gold in lane, he'll be able to craft one of these early starting items. That's probably my best guess. So again, if we just
starts for the junglers, Grave starting on the red side of the map, top side. Well, red. He's starting on his red on the top side of the map. While for the Eve, she's starting on the blue as well. So I guess they're kind of like they're mirroring each other in terms of clear.
Yeah, and this does mean that they're going to be bot side around about the same time. So we maybe see an early 3v3 play if they're feeling antsy, looking for a gank. We'll have to see how this ends up, and you know, it really just comes back to the
Graves jumping in on the Eve. He gets the smite off on the Grom. This is bad for the Eve. She's ignited by the Grave. She's running away with her life, flashes away, and she lives to see the daylight for tomorrow. But at what costs?
Yeah, a really surprising invade there from Graves, of course, abusing the fact that he has a much stronger early game than Evelyn. Poor Evelyn sitting, no invisibility, no real good abilities, and certainly not able to one-shot him early. So that early pressure is going to be really bad for the Eve. We could even see a return invade onto the bot side. We do see the pings for it coming out. So this could be yet another pick coming out, but he's going to get spotted out by that ward. So that is going to really set Evelyn behind, and that's a huge issue, because Evelyn is really one of these junglers that does need to be ahead and pressing the advantage, as we mentioned in draft, just ensuring. A hook does land on the bot side.
Oh, Ezreal being caught out, manages to escape. We see Pi covering the Eve just so she doesn't get invaded on by the Graves once again. He seems to be clearing her Raptors as well.
Yeah, so perhaps not even aware that Sarah is in their jungle. Grumpy doing the right thing there, you know, just covering to make sure that Evelyn doesn't get invaded. Because one invade would be bad enough. We do not want to see multiple coming out. So, again, onus on Cabbage family here to press this advantage. The early laning phase is meant to be sort of spectacular for this Kog'Maw. Really not seeing it coming through too much, really getting poked down by these Sand Soldiers. And both teams scaling up, you know, but... you know, that's not the situation that you want to be waiting for as a Cabbage family, you know, again, pressing these advantages. And we need to see, you know, coming into when about we see ganks on the map, what actually the impact of these jungle invades are going to be. Because it's certain that as much as it may only seem like a small amount taking away one camp and burning a flash, which is going to be up, you know, in another 3-ish minutes, it is worth remembering that Ignite's going to be up way sooner.
Quite a little bit. Seems to be alive still, so no big deal happening there.
Yeah, as per usual, you know, any type of analysis or information that I tried to give just completely turned into a lie by the players that's coming here. We're seeing the Kog'Maw getting realistically just destroyed in this early matchup, getting poked down by the Sand Soldiers. And Kog'Maw very low mana, likely having to base soon. So Zir really just keeping up the pressure. And engage on bot.
Ezreal forced to flash away after shock procced by the Nautilus, but everything seems to be fine, you know. Nautilus just showing you a little bit of presence. Five Wash Up Random's going a bit aggressive in the early game as well, to little to no surprise. They're the dominant team, they know what they're doing, and especially the Malaysian pro by the name of Bipolar Sunshine. He'll probably know when best to engage and to disengage. Dragon also coming up right now. It's going to be an Ocean Dragon for the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, so that is a small ray of hope there for the side of Cabbage Family going into a scaling comp like this. The last thing you would want to see on an Ornn and a Nautilus would be an Ocean Soul. So we're not going to be seeing that coming out, luckily. So it will. So in the description for 5 Washed Up Randoms team, they did say that they're looking to, use their early and mid and bot pressure to get these early Drakes. And by the looks of things, with the way mid lane has been going for this Kog'Maw, and how this early aggression in the bot lane,
coming in to the Nautilus,
just a light bit of pressure.
just a hook for hook trades nowadays. That's no big deal. Come back up, mana will regenerate. Ezreal seems to be playing a bit on the passive side as well, which makes sense. He doesn't want to get grabbed by this Nautilus and pretty much iced down by the Ashe as well. Like going in for the hook, just whips that one.
Narrowly misses. Yeah, and just as we expected there on the top side, Ornn has forged himself a Dorn shield in lane, just taking in those consumables. He's now heading back to lane, obviously, after first reset. And that's really sort of worrying for a Cabbage Family, the pressure that we're seeing on this bot side, because these lanes, admittedly the Ashe is particularly difficult for the Ezreal to deal with, but in the mid lane, we really should have seen a bit more return back from the Kog'Maw, and it does look like they're going to be rotating up to take this first Drake.
Yeah, indeed. Graves hammering down that Drake right now with the presence of Ashe and Nautilus to take it down a little bit faster. Meanwhile, Eve finds herself on the top side of the map. Pink wards, we see, well, one on the bot side river and one on the top side of the jungle of the Cabbage Family. Eve maybe going in for this red trade. Zir going in for that. That's going to be a vital word, isn't it? Because if she gets spotted and doesn't take the blast gun, she might actually get collapsed on by the 5 Washed Up Randoms.
Yeah, and only being level 4 here to Graze is level 5. Not what you're looking for, and I'm just realizing how many times I said not what you're looking for. That is not a good sign for the side of Cabbage Family, but it does look like, yeah, she is going to get spotted and take down the ward, and Nautilus is roaming top side as we see the good old reliable bot lane to top switch here for the Rift Herald spawn at 8 minutes. Ping's going down on the blue buff, so an
Lane
invade
coming in as
here.
well, so we see Ashe on the top side too.
Yeah, of course, so they're aware of what's happening here. But by the looks of things, it seems that Ezreal is just going to head back bot side, keep farming up. But we are going to see Grumpy roaming up here.
Graves finds himself a Kog'Maw that's vulnerable with no mana right now. Channel coming down on the Kog'Maw. Oh, first blood going down for the Eve as Graves finds himself in the Cabbage Family part of the jungle. Found himself a vulnerable Kog'Maw, but to what extent did he die for that kill?
Yeah, no, that's going to be really big, because not only is that kill going over to the Evelyn, which, the perfect target that you wanted that to be going on, but that is going to be just before the spawn of this Rift Herald. So we're going to have to see, even though the bot side for Cabbage Family is still on the bot side of the map, whereas the bot side for Washed Up Randoms is still on the top side. Lands, it's just going to be a little bit of poke, and they do look to be starting this up. Obviously, the death timer allows Graves to be back in, so the kill not mounting too much in terms of objectives, and you can see the farm difference here is going to be quite big, but taking those 2 early objectives really is quite good for the side of 5 Washed Up Randoms, despite the small gold lead that we're seeing for Cabbage Family.
Indeed, the Rift Herald being brought down by the Graves and the Nautilus. Meanwhile, Eve on the opposite side of the map grabs herself the second red buff. We see the Rift Herald squeal for Herald.
Yeah, so 2 objectives to 1 with this farm advantage, sitting about 10, varying up to 15 depending on the time, but with this entire jungle cleared out, and we are seeing another invade here from Evelyn on the bot side of the map whilst Graves is sitting, trying to look for something mid. And it is just going to be sort of with this top bot switch refused to be partaken of by Cabbage Family. Ember's Divide.
Serema Shuffle coming in on the Kog'Maw. He's vulnerable right now, has no flash. No defensive summoners, being brought down by the Azir in the end. Azir flashes away.
A conservative flash, shall we say, but with that AP Kog'Maw, he does have the tier, amplifying his damage on that. Yeah, perhaps just a cautious flash there just to avoid the passive death from Kog'Maw, but not going to land anything. back here stop from Ezreal. And yeah, that is going to be a big kill on the mid lane. Again, going towards the scaling Azir. Just going to be trying to get into that. But one of the big points that we do have to be wary of now, as we're seeing here, is the level 6 Evelyn. That's going to be the invisibility now coming out, which is going to really open her up for that gank potency. And
she's hitting 6 a bit late as well. Graves has a massive lead on her, securing himself 2 objectives for the 5 watch the Branhams. They're being very aggressive early as well with the lane switches. Well, I'm pretty sure the Cabbage family are a bit lost at the moment. They don't seem to be responding that well to the map rotation shown by the 5 watch the Branhams.
Yeah, and it's just really, I think, understandable though, because they have mentioned how they like to play this weak side, bot side Cabbage family. So sending the Israel bot to sort of just continue farming isn't really a problem. But we're going to see a lot of turret pressure here coming out, and as much as that gold is going to be divided between all of them, perhaps just looking to get it low so that Graves can pop down that Rift Herald. But it looks like it's going to be responded to here by Cabbage family. So
they could still go for it. Steve is still walking to lane, and Pyke's abandoning Ezreal completely. There's still 2 members of the 5 watch up randoms hovering around the bot side.
Yeah, even a chance that we can maybe see a dive come out here should Graves decide to stick bot, but it looks like, oh no, just channeling back just in case. Could see it come out, but it looks like they're backing up, and yeah, Graves is going to return to base. So, you know, still just hitting tit for tat in this top lane and playing maybe a bit on the safer side because, you know, 5 watch up randoms know they didn't need to push the advantage, but Evelyn's mid.
Azir, can she get the charm off? Azir uses his ultimate to get away, but at the end of the day, the Kog'Maw damage is so strong right now. Pyke able to secure himself and the Kog'Maw to 300 gold, and the Drake conveniently is now coming up. It's going to be a Mountain Drake.
Yeah, and that's
5 washed up randoms contest this. No, it could be an easy fall for the Drake. For the Cabbage family, it could be a massive Drake for them actually. The Mountain Drake is massive for the Shen and for the Pyke at the end of the day, isn't it?
just getting that little bit of extra armor does have some impact when you do that armor magic resist. Sorry, it does give you that little extra bit, but we're going to see the Infernal Drake for the Soul coming out. So that is quite interesting. Certainly better than the Cloud Drake for what both teams. The Ashe Enchanted Crystal Arrow misses there completely on the bot side.
You whiffed that one. The hook missed the Ezreal, and so did the Ashe ultimate. Meanwhile, Ezreal hits two members of the 5 washed up randoms, that being Bipolar and Nacho.
Yeah, the time running low here on this Rift out, so they're really looking to try and get it down to that 3-2 plate threshold.
Cabbage family are not happy with this one though. They wanna fire back, and they don't want to give the star away for free. Like contesting vision in the tri-bush as per usual. Rift Herald spawning in the bot side of the map. Surely this is gonna be a tower for the 5 washed up randoms.
Yeah, both teams having to put so many resources into this just to get a small amount of gold on the side of 5 washed up random. So many camps up in the jungle, really not ideal when you're looking for both teams to share that such a small amount of gold between 3 players for the side of 5 washed up randoms. But regardless, the Rift Herald does have to go down. It wasn't a very low cooldown. So not the ideal situation for them, but still gonna get that gold anyway and just take the reset. So in terms of game state, what we're looking at, it seems like Cabbage family are somewhat happy with the condition. It is worth saying that the Pyke gold, the assist did go onto him, and the Evelyn did also pick up an assist with that early Emperor's Device. She is waiting here in mid lane, prowling, trying to get a repeat gank off.
Indeed, she's hovering mid lane. Azir, this time not taking any chances. Evelyn flashes in, charms the Azir, executes him with the ultimate, that being a last caress. Pretty weird name for an ultimate, actually, right?
Yeah, I believe the Emperor's Divide there was up for Azir, but does not come out, perhaps because of the duration of that charm, just absolutely one-shotting. But I can hear the spam on the Archie coming out there for Barry, and it just doesn't come through. So now sitting 1 and 2, we have seen this lane somewhat turned around from not the ideal lane state that we're seeing in the early game. Kog'Maw now able to really dish out some damage.
Blue buff being distributed to the Kog'Maw. As per usual, blue buff coming in. Coming up as well on the side of 5 washed up random. You see Nautilus hovering around the top side of the Cabbage family jungle. Just probably clearing vision. Kog'Maw being that artillery strike that he can be by being AP.
Yeah, living artillery is really what we got to keep an eye out here for on the side of 5 washed up randoms, because if you're not paying attention, all of a sudden your backline's half health in a fight before you even notice it. As he's just raining this down, even just trying to get poke in the mid lane as the ADC and support have rotated here to sort of match the map pressure and try and deal with this a little bit better. And we are seeing the Azir here top, perhaps looking to get a bit of an easier farming lane against this Shen, as he's having a bit more of a difficult time against this Kog'Maw now.
And also, Eve had a pretty weak early game, but she's kind of recovered now with a bounty on her head as well. 150 gold for whoever slays her. She's kind of been having a lot better presence compared to Sarah's.
Yeah, definitely, but that's to be expected sort of for a pre-post 6 Evelyn, once she's able to, you know, sort of get those kills. And when I say get the snowball rolling, I do mean it. As we see the Magi Soul Stealer there coming out, going to be stacking that up and looking for the early damage. The Rift Herald here does look to be the priority, but Cabbage family are aware they're on it.
Mike goes into his invisibility. Eve tries to get the Sarahs as well. Oh, tries to keep the last caress to escape, but the Ornn ult coming in as well. Shen ult coming in too. This is going to be a massive clan fiesta in the Baron as so many kills go down. The last Emperor's Divide also pulling away the Shen. The Shen flashes over the wall. At the end of the day, that ends up being a 2-for-2 kill and a very cluttered team fight to follow.
Yeah, so surprisingly enough there, I believe Ornn managed to pick up the Herald following that fight, but we still see it continuing.
Shen coming down really low. Obviously, the W ability that Shen has doesn't work with Azir due to his magic damage. That being the Twilight's Assault. Oh.
And the game... Yeah, game pause here coming out. We'll obviously waiting to hear what that's happening with, but we'll keep you informed as soon as we know. Following a disastrous fight, I know certainly if I had the ability in solo queue to pause a game and just get my rage out and sit down on the back of the computer, I would want to as well. But yeah, we'll just have to see what's happening with that. So whilst we're away waiting to see what's going on here, we can just talk about that previous fight, which ended up being a bit of a kerfuffle there for both sides really. Cabbage family there, despite managing to force Graves out the pit, the Rift Herald does still go down. You can see it there on the Ornn. And given that I believe they landed a 3-for-2 in that trade, they're not gonna at all be worried about that one. So
yeah, indeed. So from what I understand, Barry was having some sort of lag issues. We're currently waiting on him to fix that. The Barry being the Azir, the mid laner for the 5 washed up randoms.
yeah, and that was sort of presumably explain that early Emperor's Divide that we saw in the second gank mid. It came out before Evelyn was anywhere near, somewhat defensively it seems like, but we're getting the resume out here, so should be heading back into game shortly. So having just lost that team fight, won that team fight, 5 washed up randoms, now with the Rift Herald, looking to get the second one down, and Cabbage family going to have to be recuperating after having a lost fight and losing that objective, despite having still this 2k gold lead. You know, you're looking to extend that much further when you're into such a scaling comp that we got for the side of 5 washed up randoms. And, you know, just the little things like Evelyn losing her Magi stacks there is going to be really bad for her state of power. So we see here Graves just soloing this early Drake.
Indeed, Inferno Drake might be 5 washed up randoms as Cabbage family find themselves nowhere near the Drake pit. And at the end of the day, Graves throwing down that smite. You're also pretty low to contest, so
yeah. So that dragon going down big is somewhat big, because it means that next time 5 washed up randoms will be fighting for soul point, not soul but soul point, which, you know, brings into the question, especially for the side of Cabbage family, you know, do we really want to be giving away soul to this team, or even the extra damage that the 2 infernals, 3 infernals would bring? They really need to be shifting their focus here to more objectives rather than kills, because it's all great to get this Evelyn rolling and get the power in on this Kog'Maw, but ultimately if you get yourselves to 30 minutes and they've managed to secure soul and a Baron for the side of 5 washed up randoms, they're just going to scale out your hands, and there's not much you can do to counter that. As we see here, Eve staying invisible in the bot lane, maybe looking for a pick onto the Ornn, but certainly wanting to get something down on him before he gets up too tanky. The pick does look to be coming through.
Oh, Eve charming the Ornn. He's got no way to escape as the Shen charges in as well. Ornn throws down his ultimate. There's a last chance to come out alive, but Alphamos is the one that picks up the kill on Victoria. Victoria finding himself in no man's land. As an answer from the 5-watch of randoms is the Ezreal as well. Assault coming in, but the Shen just drives them away with the stand united.
Yeah, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow there does force out the cleanse from Ezreal, so 5-washed-up randoms can keep that in mind, try and perhaps force something, as they do look to perhaps be collapsing around this mid lane. Azir on the flank, but perhaps just going to disengage here. Kog'Maw getting free farm with fun in the top, and is just going to take a back. Ornn there, Victoria managing to keep himself alive long enough to make sure that the kill doesn't go straight onto the Evelynn, only the assist, which, you know, in terms of when you have to make the best out of a bad situation like you do there, ensuring that a kill doesn't go onto a snowbally assassin is certainly what you're looking for. So hook lands in the mid lane.
For the fight, Nautilus forced to hook the wall to get away, but gets away scot-free.
Yeah, Nautilus not going to be too worried about that, even though, you know, not sitting on any completed items at all. You know, still a big boy, still happy to tank that damage for his ADC. And, you know, oh, the Rift Herald is popped down in mid. They're going to try and force this under turret, but the question is, how much can it get? We are post 14 minutes here, so there's no plates to get, so they're going to be looking for this tower.
Rift Herald charges into the mid outer turret. It's going to be a tower going down for the side of the Cabbage family. Puts them equal in towers at the moment. I just want to take a look at the gold right now as well. We see a bit of a gold difference for in favor of the Cabbage family, 2.5k. And I want to take a look at individual gold as well. If you want to go over the matchups in terms of gold, William.
Yeah, that would actually be great if we could just flick to gold observers. That'd be fantastic. But what we're seeing here is, you know, this gold lead, you know, it's not developing in one place. It's not all stacked on the Evelynn. However, you know, still being a 20 farm deficit is going to be trying to make that up with these kills and these Magi stacks.
When charging down, Shen notifying that he's ever so present in the river, but Grave just comes down to finish the scuttle as well at the end of the day. Ends up being just a disengage. Well, Kog'Maw finds himself in the top side right now. But yeah, going back to the goal difference, Eve slightly ahead of the Graves as well. And to compare the mid laners, pretty much even on gold. Yeah, we are unfortunately brought down by another pause. It seems like it's a bit of an unlucky one in terms of pauses. As a top laner for the Cabbage family has DC, that being Alphamos, the person that's playing Shen. We're just waiting for him to get back at the moment. But yeah, we can actually go over the gold like we were wanting to. We can probably go a bit in depth into the matchups. What do you think of that lead that currently Alphamos has on Victoria?
Yeah, so that's somewhat to be expected with Ornn's slightly worse laning phases. Despite no matter normally how huge the gap is between players, we do often see sort of a gold discrepancy early as he scales up to these big items. He is now level 13, so he's going to be seeing these upgrades coming in, and then going to be able to distribute them amongst his teammates. So we'll have to see where they go first, where he's putting his priority. I imagine it will likely be on the Ashe. She's the only one with a completed upgradable item. The Might of the Rune King can come through. Mm-hmm. But Shen does sort of have that matchup, as we saw multiple times. He's able to just sort of simply say no to the Ornn with his Spirit's Refuge, just blocking the empowered auto attacks. So, you know, the farm difference actually only being on one isn't too bad for the side of the Ornn. So that gold difference or any advantage is going to come through with these 2 extra kills the Shen's managed to land. And, you know, with the ultimate on the Shen, we seem to be getting back into the game here.
Yeah, we are into the game. Seems like Alphamos has reconnected. But yeah, I agree. I kind of agree with you there. I mean, the farm difference wouldn't really matter for the top laners. What we want to focus on is what the carries are bringing out right now. Ezreal seems to have a 200 gold bounty as well as Kog'Maw, so they're probably going to be playing a bit on the safe side as well.
Quite a large CS differential coming up there as well. looking to be about 40 if my math is 40 to 50 if my math is anything to be believed. Probably not, however. But as we see this continuing, that's kind of what you're looking for. You need to kind of maintain these leads and, you know, use your slight power or item advantage here. We see the Moor mana completed here for the Ezreal, whereas the Ashe is only sitting on the Blade of Rune King and the Zeal, which means for these fights, especially this upcoming fight here, it could be at an advantage.
Indeed, the scouting bird comes in from the Ashe, revealing that the Cabbage family is all grouped up around this Drake, which is spawning right now. Will be another Infernal Drake that the five worship randoms would want to get. Kog'Maw just bringing down that living artillery, focusing on the Sword, so he just can't engage mindlessly. Owen bringing down his ultimate, forcing Kog'Maw to flash away. Shen getting a 3-man taunt right now. Eve tries to go in for the Ashe, but just gets popped in the end. The side of 5 washed up randoms actually brought down by a shutdown 2 on the Azir. The Kog'Maw just proving to be too strong with that poke at the moment. Will the 5 washed up randoms have a response for this though? So far it's been a 1-for-1 situation. Pyke goes on that invisibility hunting mode that he so likes to have. Ooh, Nautilus going in for the hook on the Pyke. Pyke tries to dash away. Alpha Moss at the end of the day is the guy that's brought down to 0 HP. Graves going in for this flank as well. Not sure if you want to flank these guys. They have a lot of damage, and the Ezreal picks up the Graves kill, as well as the Pyke picks up the Nautilus kill as well. A lot of damage coming in from the carries of the Cabbage family. Gregors and Sean just proving really hard to bear with.
A very messy fight there around the Drake does eventually go in favor of Cabbage family, managing to pick up those kills on the backside. But you were quite right there in saying that the Evelynn went in, attempting to one-shot this Ashe.
Ashe tries to escape with a life, manages to do so with the heal. Eve at the end of the day wasting the last caress without picking up a kill on the Ashe. Once again, she's just not being able to chunk this Ashe.
Yeah, and that's really disastrous when you're looking at that as it's really sort of Evelyn's sole purpose, getting out these ADCs, taking them out the fight, but not quite managing to do it. The True Shot Barrage there did come out from the Ezreal, attempting to land it, but does not manage to seal the deal. So, you know, it was like we mentioned in Champs, like the sheer amount of CC that is present here for the side of 5 washed up randoms can really choke this Evelynn out of these fights. And if she does want to go in, she's going to have to be going in to a huge amount of CC coming out from the enemy team, stopping her from really having a safe and easy engage on the backline at any point.
Sean F treading with fire at the moment, using the blasting cone to get away from the Nautilus, but he's kind of struggling to get into fights as well. I see him just mainly cleaning up low HP individuals.
Yeah, but in terms of these fights and how they're going to go, we mentioned how, you know, that Cabbage family has to make picks here. And the fact that Evelynn failed twice to make these picks, even though one of them was Ashe under tower, supported later on by the Nautilus, that is got to be a worrying message sending to them. Just, you know, keeping in mind that we can't just take a break on this game. We can't just sit back and relax, because these team comps are not going to do any favors for us.
Pyke finds the Nautilus in no man's land, trying by the Eve. Surely he's going to fall down. A lot of damage coming in on the Cabbage family part. Meanwhile, Ashe tries to get in and engage. Gregors going in for the chunk on the Ornn, but he's pretty tanky at this moment, having Abyssal Mask and having Sunfire Cape completed with the enhancement from his passive. Hook coming in from the Pyke as well. He picks up another kill. That's 2 picks now the Pyke has forced on the side of Cabbage family, and now they turn their attention towards Baron.
Yeah, and this is going to be big for Cabbage family. This is kind of what we mentioned, pressing these advantages. Currently 5 kills up, 4k gold lead developing, as we see here, picking up that Baron uncontested, and we'll have to see what they do with this power play. Needing to sort of trade these towers to ensure that it's a positive one, and it's what we're looking for from them. That's sort of, you know, the play that we're looking for. You know, we mentioned those picks, and, you know, we're sort of ragging on the Evelynn for a bit there. But, you know, the pick-making potential does not just fall on her. You know, the living artillery from the Kog'Maw is going to help her greatly in managing to go through that.
There's a lot of picking potential with the Shen, with the Pyke, with the Eve, so it's just like, at the end of the day, it's just positioning. I feel like the 5 washed up randoms have gotten far too comfortable. and they're wandering into Cabbage Family's jungle, and they're not even aware where the Cabbage Family members are. Hence why they're getting picked off so constantly.
Yeah, some interesting itemization coming here from the Ornn, perhaps a build path that I'm not aware of with 2 Negatron cloaks. But we'll have to see what items. Yeah.
What are you doing there as she gets popped by the Ezreal and the E? Meanwhile, the Pike looks for another pick on this Graves, gets hooked as well, misses the stun. He just dashes away. Mid lane tower going down for the Ezreal. Oh, Pike coming in and with the death from below, sharing the gold with a Kog'Maw. Meanwhile, oh my word, it's just kill after kill as the... Mostly Grumpy seems to be doing so much work right now. He's just getting in so many picks. His over-aggressive playstyle just seems to be really benefiting the Cabbage Family.
This is really what, like I said, we're looking for. Need to keep making these picks, extending this lead. And 3 kills in the last 3 minutes, with 2 of them being on death from below, is really what you're looking for. Like we said, Might of the Rune King, the upgrade coming in here for the Ashe means you're going to be outputting that little bit more damage. See, she decided to not go for the immediate crit. And the pings going down to return here, get back for this Infernal Drake, which is spawning in 5 seconds.
It's going to be the Drake of the game for the Cabbage Family if they do manage to secure it. Massive for them as well. They have so much damage. By getting these Infernal Drakes that scale with damage, it's just really fortunate that they're in this situation right now with the Infernal Drakes that they're getting too.
Yeah, and if we look at the team composition for her Cabbage Family and we think, what characters in the whole of the League of Legends 150 champion roster really like an Infernal Soul? And Evelyn is up there, and a Pike is up there. They will not be complaining about that at all, and we'll love to see that come through.
Kog'Maw AP won't be complaining either. Oh, Eve, you might be going a bit too ham there. Use it to last the rest to get away from the 5 washed up randoms. She won't have ultimate for the steam pipe. Meanwhile, Ornn goes in for the engage, doesn't get any knockups with the ultimate. The Zero throws down his tower as well. They're just trying to deal with a push with as many ways as possible. Ezreal going for the 2-shot barrage, a bit ambitious on this part.
Yeah, and it's all easy to focus on that fight, and the unfortunate miss of the Call of the Forge got onto all 3 members there of Cabbage Family. But ultimately, whilst that was all going on, this Kog'Maw is just sitting here in the top lane, and he may be an AP champion, but he has no problem forcing down these turrets with his kit. So this is the point where 5 washed up randoms really do have to be wary. Their scaling is going to help them in the late game, but that's not going to be any good if you can't make it to the late game in the first place. And what we're seeing here from Cabbage Family is exactly what we asked for. And now 10k gold lead looking to develop an objective prowess over the entire game. They're currently sitting on stall point already with a massive Baron power play. They're more than happy with the situation in this game and just need to keep up this pressure, because with the current state of affairs for 5 washed up randoms, they simply cannot answer them.
Indeed, Ezreal still rocking that perfect KDA still. He's approaching the 300 CS mark too, so he's massively ahead. He's got the 3-item power spike that bumps Ezreal into this high damage DPSer, which isn't what we expected Ezreal to be before this season started.
Oh yeah, neither also. We're not going necessarily for tank itemization here with the Iceborne Gauntlet, but still managing to pick up that Death Dance, going to be healing him for a whole hell of a lot despite its nerfs. So we see here they're possibly, I believe, setting up for the next Baron in 1 minute 20 coming up, and another Dragon in 2:30. So this is where we really do see just the power coming out from Cabbage Family's comp, because you can see 5 washed up randoms there barely playing in their own side of the map, no vision in the enemy jungle or even really in river or around Baron, so they have to be really wary of this Evelyn as she's roaming around trying to look for a sneaky pick onto the enemy team.
Indeed, this is where the game might be broke or made for the Cabbage Family, because if they do manage to secure this Baron, we can foresee that they're going to siege the game and close it out. But if somehow the Graves manages to steal it, it could be vital for the 5 washed up randoms. Meanwhile, Graves and the Nautilus try to charge down the Cabbage Family. Evelyn gets picked off. She's going in quite low. Use the last caress to get away. Ornn chases in after her, flashes into her. gets the kill in the end. Meanwhile, the Pike going in with death from below gets the kill on the Owen as well. Can they hunt for more? The Pike is hungry for some more. Has the hook available? Be able to get it here. Oh, dashes in forward. Oh, barely misses in.
Worth remembering that was blind as well. He was nearsighted for that, so just throwing a guess almost hits. Oh, beautiful play there from both teams, actually. Managing to land that pick on the Evelyn, then still managing to pick up the return kill. You know, still quite good. Both teams making sort of the best out of a bad situation that they got themselves in. But should this
locking in the 360 AD now as well, so that's kind of dangerous.
Jesus, yeah, that's very scary for the side of washed up runs. No matter how tanky your Ornn is going to get, we do see just sort of, as you mentioned, that pick making potential. So both teams now, seeing as the Baron was not able to immediately go down for the side of Cabbage family, that does mean they're gonna have to make a choice between this Soul versus this Baron. I think the choice is gonna fall on the Soul, as denying that Infernal Soul from the enemy is gonna be the choice. We see Evelyn here pathing bot side as the Drake's coming up in 20 seconds. Gonna have to start making their way down here a little quicker though.
Can the Cabbage family conquer game one now? This is going to be the make it or break it game play as well. I mean, if they do get the Soul, they're just going to be so strong to deal with. The poke is going to be insane with that explosion from the Infernal Drake as well.
Yeah, Evelyn here did take a base, so won't be here for a while in this fight. However, I don't think the 5 washed up randoms know that, so they're going to be playing this entire fight as if Evelyn's nearby.
True Shot Barrage missing everyone on the team. Not sure where Ezreal was going to aim that one. Drake at 3000 HP right now. Ornn goes in for the ult. Tries to knock up. Meanwhile, Grave secures the Infernal for the 5 washed up randoms. Kog'Maw brings down the Nautilus. Shen's going down really low. Shutdown coming in for the Pike. And the Eve goes in for the last caress. Execute on the Azir. Kog'Maw brought down the Ashe and the Ornn. And it's a triple kill for the living artillery Kog'Maw.
And that's well, you know, when it comes to those plays, you know, the Dragon did go over. Evelyn wasn't managed to make her way through, but taking down 4 members and being able to threaten the base with his TP is going to be more than a worthwhile trade. They don't even go for Baron here. With the timers still up for the side of 5 washed up randoms, they're looking to go for the base.
Indeed, Gregor's going in for the dash forward. Oh, the damage on this turret is insane. This could be as well the game-ending potential that they were going for. The triple kill for the Kog'Maw really assisted this one. It's going to be game 1 for the Cabbage family. The underdogs pull one game of the 5 washed up randoms. It's surprising. I mean, I was expecting the 5 washed up randoms to just completely dominate the game. They started the game out so well in the early game, going in for the pressure on everyone, and the Cabbage family just brings this one down. Game 1, fantastic stuff by the Cabbage family.
Yeah, they managed to play to what we mentioned in Champion Select with their draft. They played exactly to where their advantages need to be. Get these leads and force the enemy to make these uncomfortable plays before they have the opportunity to scale up, not letting the side of 5 washed up randoms manage to pick up that scale. So they managed to get the Drake, sure. That's great. The Infernal Drake did go down. But if you're trading that for Nexus, that's not really what you're looking for if you want to contain
Drake for that 50 goal any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. 50 gold. Just a minor advantage. Taking down game 1. I believe now 5 washed up runners are going to get side selection for the next game, having lost. And just in case I'm wrong on that, double check. But so we'll have to see what they go for going forward for the next draft. But I think it's safe to say that they're probably not looking to run that same comp again unless they make some serious changes to how they play the game. Cabbage family actually have the side selection here. So this could be interesting going to the next draft phase. With the advantage coming off of that, they're going to have the choice between red or blue side, whether they want the counter pick focus or the early pick. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Can I just note that the Ezreal finished with the perfect KDA as well? He finished 209. So
yeah,
I mean, if we're all for personal stats here, he hit highest CS in the game. He was 209. If I'm looking at the damage charts as well, Kog'Maw and Ezreal pretty much topped them. And well, it was by a massive advantage as well compared to any member of the 5 worship randoms.
Yeah, and again, it is just sort of that analysis curse or caster's curse. We said during the opening, you know, Cabbage family, they like to have this weak side bottom, not really doing too much, helping support the rest of their team. And then we get a perfect KDA on the bot side and only going down twice on the pike. It's like, you know, I might as well just not talk at this point.
I mean, we were going in for that. We were pretty much thinking, oh, surely the Washed Up Randoms, the dominant champions of Newell, will just smash out game 1, and maybe Cabbage Family will bring it back. But we just got that one completely wrong. Cabbage Family played that mid game and the late game perfectly. I mean, what else could they have done? They got the picks that they wanted. They were fighting to their strengths. They were hiding the weaknesses of the comp, because obviously this comp had a lot of weaknesses in terms of frontlining, in terms of reliable engage, but they still managed to do it with the champions that they had.
Yeah, very well played there from Cabbage Family. We'll have to see what they do going into game 2. And we've just found out they picked blue side, so they are going to be going for these earlier picks and the first bans. So we'll see how that plays out in game 2 as we go to a wee break before coming back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game 2 of the Newell Summer Cup 2020 finals as we go. Well, Cabbage Family taking game number 1 very decisively with a very interesting comp as well. And, well, the 5 washed up randoms just having no response to the early game presence that the Cabbage Family were able to. Oh, William taking a sip of that Red Bull. Don't forget, guys, that today's son, you guys buy them.
Sure. Yeah. Might as well have a Truman Show sponsor segment here. But yeah, so if we should just be heading into Champion Select in no time at all. So in terms of the strategy that we need to be seeing coming out from 5 washed up randoms, we want to be seeing a reevaluation of what they did in that composition. They went for the late game scaling. That's fine, but you really have to change the way you are playing and accept that, you know, you need to be safe. You need to be especially getting these early objectives to ensure that you're not pressured into these things like Soul too early. What I feel like it was that Cabbage Family managed to pick up too many of those early Drakes in return, which meant that 5 washed up randoms couldn't just sit on this 3 dragon advantage, chilling out, not worrying too much about objectives. So they either need to completely reevaluate that strategy at all, maybe not go for something like that, not wanting to see something like that game 1 develop again, or they need to really change up their play style and how they play into that composition.
Indeed, as we are now into Champion Select, the Volley Bear ban coming in as standard. We saw that in game 1 as well. Well, we see Cabbage Family taking the blue side again, so I'm guessing that the 5 washed up randoms prefer red side?
So Cabbage Family actually had side selection here, so that was chosen before the game, not down to losses. So that is going to be interesting. I'd be interesting to see. I know in multiple other leagues it's developed, but blue side does actually have a higher win rate, whether that's down to the draft phase or just the side of the map and where it gives you pro.
I'm pretty sure in solo key it has like a 0.04. Well, not 0.04. It's something like 0.4% improvement.
Yeah. It really, yeah, it's strange and not something especially new players might think about, but certainly things that you really do have to be considering, especially in this draft phase here. In terms of bans, we're seeing so far the exact same opening bans that we saw from both teams. The Volley, Caitlyn, and Jin banned out. Were also banned out in game 1, but Jin and Caitlyn were flipped, and the Nidalee, the Kindred, and the Gangplank all banned out. So this is identical bans to game 1, bar the Order, and the Ezreal still comes through from Alpha to go on to Gregors. So I find that very worrying. I don't know about you, John, but that, given that, as we mentioned, Gregors had a perfect KDA last game, do they really want to be giving that away?
Oh, this is interesting. We see Shen and Kog'Maw stolen away from the Cabbage Family. As you were saying, yeah, it's interesting to give the Ezreal away since he just had such a perfect and flawless game on the Ezreal. But since they're taking away elements of the Cabbage Family comp, from last game. This is for sure going to be interesting to see who gets the Kog'Maw, because it could be a flex pick for either mid or ADC. And obviously, Victoria is going to be on the Shen as well. So that's Alphamos not playing his most comfortable champion as well. Graves also being stolen away from the 5 washed up random side. So that's Pop that's going to be playing it, I'm assuming.
The bar does come through, which unless that's a proxy, which I don't think it is, that is going to be a mix certainly. But so far for those first 2 picks, B1, B2, R1, R2, those are both just the teams, you know, just trading characters. And 5 watched them random saying, hey, that strategy you ran last game, oh, that seemed to work. We're gonna have a wee pop at that. So it'll be interesting to see if those characters actually come through. A Mumu, perhaps another indicator of the Ornn. We'll have to wait and see what production says for that. I'm assuming that they're not picking that.
Oh, actually, Amumu is Lulu this time. So
Amumu is Lulu, right?
Yeah, Kog'Maw Lulu comp. Protect the Kog'Maw, I'm seeing.
Yeah. So that could be bot lane, and it does indicate that Kog'Maw is going to go bot lane. But, you know, Lulu does, of course, pair well with other different champions. So, you know, Cabbage family really going to have to be considering here where this Kog'Maw is going, because it might be a bit different. The Orianna band out here, which is interesting. Both teams do like this pick. Both teams like a skill in mid. Shyvana perhaps a placeholder again, but maybe just to avoid the.
I haven't been told anything as of yet, so I'm assuming that's going to be
right. Okay.
Probably denying it from Seraz could be a pocket pick that they've discovered that Seraz is working on. Azir also taken away from Sean F, even though they just played it themselves in game 1. So I guess they don't want the enemy team to have it, and they don't want to play it either.
2 mid lane bans here does perhaps indicate that Kog'Maw could be going mid. So, I mean, perhaps Cabbage family aren't being tricked by this, but I certainly am. Despite the Lulu lock-in on that Amumu, I still really have no idea where this Kog'Maw is going to, given what the bans indicate. So we'll see the Victor ban again coming out. So that's 3 mid-targeted bans. We'll see what pick comes up. 3 mid-targeted bans. So we'll see what comes out here. Nacho taking his time picking, and I don't blame him, because to be honest, even if I'm on that team, I'm not sure what they're doing there. The proxy pick doesn't help either in all the confusion.
Yeah. Just want to remind everyone that the Amumu is a Lulu flex pick, so the lobby's going to be remade with Bipolar, I'm assuming, on the Lulu, since Set just got picked for Victoria. It's a pretty interesting comp so far. I mean, so they're going for the Set jungle, the Shen top, and probably Kog and Lulu in the bot lane, I'm assuming.
That's what we're assuming, but again, just like I mentioned, you know, at the end of the day, you can't write this Kog'Maw off as just being immediately bot lane, because even though it does indicate it, they can always flex at mid, and they've left their mid-bot pick, most likely mid, to the very end, to the very last one. We see the Fiora lock in here into the Shen.
Aggressive early game champions coming in from the Cabbage family. Pretty much their intent is to stop them in the early game, but we also see the Corki as well. Well, I'm assuming this is an actual Corki, because I haven't received any message from production that this is a flex pick as well. So I'm just gonna let the comps finalize before commenting on it, because
yeah, a Vlad pick going through here would be very comfortable for Barry. He really likes his hard scaling champ. The Zed over.
No, he's just
They're playing with us. They're playing with us.
And
Vladimir comes
blood-sucking demon that's hovered over. You had an interesting fact the other day about Vladimir, is that it's not a vampire actually. What
The one fact that I like to rattle off, the one thing that I actually know about Vladimir, besides his horrific early late game power, is the fact that he's not technically a vampire. He's actually a hemomancer, just one of those random pieces of League lore that really doesn't matter or have any impact on the game, but we know it anyway. So that is going to be a real comfort pick here for Barry. And interestingly enough, no indication of, at least I don't think from what I can remember exactly of the comps, because obviously we're not seeing it on our screens right now, but I don't think there's any particular early or late preference. Both teams perhaps looking to play more for split push versus 5-on-5.
I think the Cabbage family is kind of like an early-ish comp. They also have a very squishy comp, so they're probably just focusing on the strong point that won them the first game, which is the pick comps. Five Up Randoms doubling down on the team fight heavy comps, and Cabbage family doubling down on their pick comps, like I just said. And it's just at the end of the day, it's just going to be a factor of, are we going to see a repeat of game one? Are we going to see five washed up randoms change up their playstyle and force those team fights in a better manner? Because as we remember in game one, they weren't really playing to their strengths and grouping up and focusing the squishies. They couldn't as well, because they were getting popped left and right by that, wasn't it?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, yeah, you mentioned it's still sort of a somewhat pick-orientated comp here from Cabbage Family, but regardless of that fact, they've still got the Corki, which, you know, sort of balances off. Obviously, Fiora here is looking to get a lead and extend that back, but perhaps what they're looking for is, whilst that lead's being extended, Corki's getting basically free will to farm up and get these items under his belt. But they have to keep in mind, again, you know, we had last game, we had the Azir, we had the Ornn, and we had the Graves. This time we've got a Shen, we've got a Vladimir, and we've got a Kog'Maw. So they've still kept a lot of their scaling elements up and still maintaining that, but a bit of a mess around here from
it's going to be Lulu.
Yeah, Kog'Maw Lulu. Yeah.
So they're going for more protect the Kog'Maw style. They're going to force the team fights, and Kog'Maw's just going to be puking away on
lovely image.
It is what it does at the end of the day. It's just puking away when he activates the caustic spittle, which also has a pretty interesting name. But yeah, I think this could work out for five washed up randoms. Cog Lulu comps are so strong when they're coordinated in a competitive team scenario. Obviously in solo queue, if you go try that in solo queue with a random, you're probably just gonna you're not gonna find much success because there's not much cohesion between you and four random people. But if played well in competitive, it could be. It's probably one of the strongest comps for a lot of seasons now, because every team can just fall back on it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're certainly not in the ardent sense or heyday, but it's still absolutely a powerful combination. Nothing's going to take away from that. So, you know, both teams do have late game elements here. You know, the Corki, the Ezreal, the Graves, and the Shen, the Vladimir, and the Kog'Maw on the 5-wash random side. But ultimately, both teams, you know, we saw a bit more play around these fights, shall we say? A lot of somewhat clown fiestas going down with people dropping left, right, and center, objectives being secured. And ultimately, as we mentioned before we went off broadcast last time, trading a dragon for your Nexus is not the ideal play, so perhaps not looking to make that same mistake again. So,
are you sure that 50 gold isn't worth it, though? I mean, the dragon can be better than the 50 gold if you think if you technically think about it. But yeah, that wasn't a good call by the 5 randoms to fight a full-on force an Infernal Drake fight and ultimately, give up the game completely.
Yeah, so not the ideal trade, but regardless, you know, what we're going to be looking to see from 5 randoms in terms of improvement and how to change their playstyle from the previous game. We're instead just going to be looking for them to, you know, maybe make these plays a little cleaner, because there were opportunities that they used. You know, that Graves early invade on the Evelyn was really well executed. Didn't manage to land the kill, but did force her out really early, and then they were able to exact pressure on bot side, forcing the Pyke to come out of lane. So, you know, plays like that were really, really clean. But it was when it got to these team fights and managing to stay away from this Evelyn and stop her from getting picks, they did manage to deny the pick around one dragon fight, but the rest of the time they just lost members at the wrong times, allowing Cabbage Family to convert into objectives. So ultimately, I think what they just need to improve on is just making those same clean plays just more often. Because if you keep repeating those advantages, the gold is going to stack up, and then they're going to have the advantages that we're actually looking for going into the fights.
Indeed, and now we head into a break, guys, so stick with us as we get ready for a game 2. Hello everyone and welcome back to Game 2 of the Newell Summer Cup Finals, brought to you by a Red Bull as we enter the Summoner's Rift. Could be for the last time if Cabbage Family pull in a 2-0 sweep, or maybe we'll get a Game 3 for lucky if the 5 washed up randoms decide. Well, if they can manage to play to the strengths of their comp. What are your thoughts on the comps? We already spoke a little bit about this in Champions League, but we can... Oh, actually...
I'm more interested in this play bot side.
Yeah, actually, wait, the Mystical Journey, what will it accomplish here? Oh, they know the Kog'Maw is there. He's gonna get ignited by the Graves. Forced to flash away. That is big, not having the flash on the Kog'Maw in the early game.
Yeah, the Ignite does get burned there for the Graves, but, you know, Ignite for Flash is a trade you're always happy to make. So, you know, that Magical Journey, yeah, coming up means there is going to be less healing stacking there down in the bot lane early, but ultimately not going to amount to too much. Just going to have to keep our eyes on the bot lane as Pope may look to re-gank.
Indeed, this time around we see Graves. Well, we see Pop starting in the bottom side of the map as he started blue side in the previous game. And we see Sarah starting in the bottom side of the map as well. So once again, they're mirroring each other's jungle pattern clearances. It's just right now, it's just going to be the calm before the storm, isn't it? Because Pop's already blown that Ignite on the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw was forced to flash away, so he will probably want to play a bit more towards the spot side, won't he?
Yeah, of course, but despite that, he does seem to be clearing Krugs here, which may indicate that he wants to just do a full clear instead of going for 3 camps into a gank bot. But we'll have to see. You know, he could always change up his options in the jungle pathing. But I'm expecting from Seraz here on the set is to just be a full clear and to perhaps a gank onto this Fiora. She's pretty pushed up now, but as for if that lane state is the same when he gets up there, that's highly unlikely.
Indeed, just a little bit of trading going on. Gregors finds himself half HP. This somehow seems very familiar compared to last game. Oh, the taunt coming into the Fiora. She's forced to back away. Half HP as well. Alphamos no longer on the Shen, so he needs to be careful and play to his favorite champion's advantages.
Yeah, of course, they're taking a tower shot is really not what you're looking for there, but you have to be wary with Shen when you're playing near that tower for CS. He's gonna more than happily trade that into you.
This time around, she's able to parry the taunt. Well, the top lane is probably just gonna be one of those wet noodle fights we like to call. It's gonna be an island. I don't expect to see much focus on it, even though is it the 5 watched up randoms that prefer to focus on the top side? It is, right?
No, so that's Cabbage Family likes to put a lot of their priority on the top side, which is why we're seeing this Fiora pick. But Cabbage Family is flexible, and they have no problem, you know, with putting priority on the top side. And with the scaling comp in the bot lane, the Kog'Maw Lulu, it does look like that's perhaps more what they're wanting to do, at least in the early game, and trying to get this Vladimir ahead, and just letting the Kog'Maw Lulu scale up.
Oh, stun coming in on the Lulu. She's forced to take a little bit of damage. Guardian also going down. For the bot. He's just wandering around, collecting his meeps. Meanwhile, we see Pop coming in. Lulu finding herself in a very awkward situation. She's forced to flash away. We reminded that Kog'Maw still doesn't have his flash up. Ignite coming down. TP also coming down from Victorio. Victorio's forcing to get a trade. Bod flashes, gets the first blood on the Kog'Maw. TP coming in from Alphamos as well. Bod gets picked up. And it's complete Clown Fiesta style as Alphamos goes down, as well as Seraz, and it's at the end of the day a 2-for-2 trade. But first blood going down for mostly Grumpy.
Yeah, so, in terms of people you want First Blood to go over to, Bard's not exactly the priority target, but you're quite right. Both teleports there, I believe, burned from the enemy side. A whole load of summoners. Good awareness there, of course, from Pope. Just remember that he burned the flash in the other game in return for an easy gank. And that is what ended up happening, but I'm sure what he didn't expect was to randomly see 4 people bot side at just 4 minutes into the game. But that's what ended up happening. And that play, it's gonna seem relatively even, sort of on paper. But when we look at it, where those kills went over to, it could actually be better for the side of 5 washed up randoms. As Kog'Maw Lulu, it loves those kills in the system. One of the kills going onto a Vladimir as well, gonna be constantly scaling up. But it looks like this first Dragon Prio at least could be going over to 5 washed up randoms, but Graves is here to challenge it.
Indeed, Sarah's forced to back away, half HP. He does have the passive charging up just in case it's needed. Gregor's also being picked on by the Kog'Maw Lulu. At the end of actually Pop forcing the Drake as well. He's very low right now. And the 10% HP, but Drake seemed
Going very low, having to smite for health.
Indeed, Bard at the end of the day is the one that ends up picking up the Drake.
What can I say? Hard carry Bard. That's how it always goes,
I mean, the Cabbage family, if you kind of think about it, they're kind of contrasting their game plan for the previous game. They kind of seem to have taken 5 Wash Up Random's game plan, if you kind of think about it, right?
Yeah, so I mean, they had the Ezreal last time as well, but yeah, Corki Gray's going to be scaling quite hard. Fiora, not particularly the best pick in going into the Uber late game, but is going to have a lot of 1v1 potential. Going to perhaps have that split push potential. Maybe even looking to on the side of Cabbage family, looking to perhaps run something along the lines of a 1-3-1, putting Fiora and Corki in those side lanes, especially when Corki gets his package. That just basically free escape tool.
Oh, Pop. Oh my word, misses the smite to 1 HP, but manages to secure Scuttle at the end of the day. But yeah, what I meant is that they're going for this sort of early game presence, the Cabbage family, while in the previous game it was the 5 washed up randoms that had this game plan, and now it seems like the washed up randoms just want to outscale the Cabbage family instead of forcing an aggressive early game.
Yeah, and the question is, is that on their onus to do? Do they need to be making these plays, or do they have the outscaling team? And you're absolutely right in that they do kind of feel like they need to be putting on this pressure again and trying to get that early advantage, because the Graves has that ability to, as we saw last game, go in early.
Ooh, Stan United coming down for the set. He's fallen really low, but Shen is his savior at the end of the day. Well, the set was kind of caught off guard there by Pop. Sarah's probably doesn't feel comfortable being in the retrieving seat because he was playing so aggressive last game as the Graves as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, so I'd have to check top side there, but that could actually be really bad for Victorio here on the top side, as I believe he might have just conceded a free freeze to Alpha Moss should he wish to take it, because he had to use the Stand United bot side and walk all the way back up.
Indeed, he's already got the Brambles vest as well. Well, every single champion is auto attack based on the side of Cabbage family, so it's a really good pickup by him.
Yeah, I will not be surprised, not only in the isolated Fiora matchup in the top lane, but also just for dealing with the rest of the team, a Brambles vest Ninja Tab I start. It would not go amiss, even though it doesn't necessarily lead directly into the items Shen tends to want to pick up, with that Titanic into, the Titanic Hydra and the Bami Cinder going in to the Cape. So, he's more than happy to take that itemization, because into Fiora especially, once she gets things like this Vampiric Scepter under her belt, she's going to be healing for a deceptive amount. So just being able to quell that early.
Oh. Being a bit over aggressive, bot forced to take the mystical journey. It's going to be a reset for the Cabbages family bot lane. We kind of expect Cog Lulu to start out damaging Ezreal Bard at level 6. Am I right?
Yeah, about then I think, because Living Artillery.
Sorry about that, but Rift Herald has just been brought down by Sarah. So just when we thought we had a moment to breathe, the Cabbage family tries to force a fight. Sarah's forced to flash away. Does have the Hex Flash still, so not too big of a deal for him at the moment.
Yeah, he's not going to be too upset about that. You know, he's still going to have the Hex Flash up, and that's expected. And he did, in the end, land the Rift Herald. So when you've got a Hex Flash up, you have to burn Hex Flash to get over the wall. It is ultimately not the best of trades, but it's still one you can take.
That was a brilliant taunt. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to land that one, and Alpha gets the worst end of the trade for that one. Rebuff
Yeah.
going down for Sean F. As usual, mid lane is getting the second blue of the game.
Yeah, not going to be too happy with that. If I was Alpha, must be quite angry, yelling, you know, Rito, please help, like with that hitbox. But at the end of the day, it is, like we said, just going to be this tit for tat bot lane. And once the defensive items are kind of stacked up a bit more for Victorio, like we said, it's just going to be that I hit you, you hit me, but neither of us die until 20-30 minutes into the game. Which, when you're a Fiora, really isn't what you're looking to do too much.
Stand United available for this Drake fight coming up. And just to remind you guys, it's going to be a Notion Drake coming up very shortly, 5 seconds to go. Pink's going down for the side of the 5 washed up randoms. We know Victorio being brought down really low. Can Alpha finish up the kill? Ooh. Throws down the grand challenge, but Victorio just forced to flash away. Does have the TP and the Stand United to get back to lane if needed or to join a team fight. But the 5 washed up randoms seem to be the guys that are pressuring to obtain this Drake.
Yeah, we do see here Pope coming in, perhaps looking, is starting up, forcing them off. As we said,
Yep.
the Stand United is ready, but it looks like they're just going to concede it. Oh no.
Oh, Sarah's coming in, the smite coming down for Pope. Meanwhile, Bard throws in the Tempered Fate. Can the Graves live? No, Sarah's is the one that picks up the kill. Oh my word, Sarah is actually trading the Drake for the kill, which isn't the worst. Well, them losing the Drake isn't the worst thing ever, but surely this changes things in favor of the Cabbage family, because those Drakes are actually pretty decent on them.
Yeah, having Soul Point on the next one means that the side of 5 wash-up randoms really are going to have to fight for this next one to stop them from getting Soul Point. It's going to be Mountain Drake as well, which, you know, it's not too disastrous because we're not seeing too many tanky members on the side of Cabbage family should they manage to pick it up. But 5 wash-up randoms definitely wanting it.
Shelly summoned in the bot lane by Sarah's. Actually got 1.5k HP already. She'll be able to... Oh! She didn't even get the charge off to the tower. Ultimately, the Pope's auto attack was enough to decimate Shelly. And a bit of a waste on the side of Sarah's.
Yeah, really not the kind of plays you want to be looking for, especially when a 1k gold lead has already developed coming here 12 minutes into the game. Especially when these scaling picks handing over that gold to the Kog'Maw and the Lulu would be really good, but just unfortunately not what we're going to see come out. So we do kind of, like we said last game, need to see a return from 5 washed up randoms and getting this pressure back onto the map and actually getting these Drakes secured, because they mentioned in their profile, we do see here a lot of tower pressure though from the Fiora, but they mentioned in their profile how they like to get this early prio over Drakes and early objectives, you know, send bot side top after the first Drake goes down to secure Rift Herald. We just haven't seen that. Yes, they did manage to secure the Rift Herald, but they got no advantage off of that.
Bard actually roaming the top side with Pop. So mostly Grumpy and Pop trying to look for the pick on Victorio. He's cornered in right now, and the tower is going to be first out of the game falling for the Cabbage family as they secure a bigger gold advantage right now.
Yeah, pre-14-minute turret is really not too much what you're looking for. And I feel like we're in a somewhat similar situation to last game, where it's like, yes, you have a Shen, you have a Vladimir, you have a Kog'Maw, you do manage to scale up, but scaling doesn't matter if you never get to the late game. And it's not like Cabbage family doesn't have any answers to that. They have the Corki, they have the Greys, and they have the Ezreal, so they more than have the capacity to answer this sort of later game scaling. So 5 wash-up randoms really needs to step up here and, you know, start putting in some legwork, securing these objectives, securing these towers, and putting some pressure down on the map.
Indeed. I just have the question for you from back 2 minutes ago. if Shelly is the name of the first Rift Herald, what's the name of the second Rift Herald? Because I'm pretty sure they have different names, don't they?
If they do, I was not aware of that. You may have outlawed me there. I'm not too sure of that, but
I think on the LCS broadcast, they gave
mention that?
a second name. They gave a second name to the Rift Herald a few years back. I can't really remember.
I was gonna say I seem to remember one of them maybe being Harry, or something along those lines, like Shelly and Harry. But that might just be a complete. I might just be talking complete rubbish here.
That might just be the meme stalking.
Yeah, true. At this point in League's career, it's kind of hard to tell the difference sometimes. Sarah's here, deep in the enemy territory in the jungle.
Stunned by the bard, no one there to collapse on Sarah as mostly Grumpy chases him away. Oh, Tempered Fate coming down, completely missing Sarah's Barry and the Bipolar. Meanwhile, the True Shot Barrage. Oh my word. Oh my god, the collateral damage picking up the kill on the Sarah's. You're wandering into the wrong neighborhood, my guy.
Yeah, that could not have been scripted any more better, even if we had tried to. He just manages to get out. True Shot Barrage comes through, just clips him, and he just survives. And then just to finish off the deal, the end of the line comes out from the grave.
You're a dueling Victorio, as Grand Challenge is enough to bring down the Shen in favor of Alphamos. Alphamos actually bullying the Shen out of lane quite constantly, with picking up a massive CS lead.
Yeah, and that's sort of what like I mentioned earlier, what we want to be seeing from Cabbage Family here. They are able to just do this 1-3-1 sort of composition, sending Ezreal Bard and a mid with Grave Swords surrounding them. Bard obviously more than happy to roam around the map, and the sheer power, as we saw there, that Fiora can exact, even on someone really tanky like the Shen, with the Bramble Vest sort of denying some of her healing, is still able to, with Grand Challenge come out, get so much damage off and even pick up the kill. Corki here has the package now, and the first Mountain Drake of the game is going to be coming up.
The package has arrived, sir. Has Sarah's engages the Mountain Drake, brings it out right now. Can Pop secure this one for the Cabbage Family? Would be massive for them. Would bring them a massive lead. The package just coming down in the middle of the enemy jungle. Meanwhile, Barry falling down so low. Stand United coming down as well. Sunshine out position, but the flash is enough to secure his safety. But the True Shot Barrage picks him up. At the end of the day, Alphamos wants to clean up the victory once again. Tempered Fate landing a 3-man ult. Serraz is falling down as well. Almost an ace as Nacho escapes with his tail in between his legs as well.
And this is the play that we'd love to be seeing. Cabbage Family being struck with the Newell semi-finals curse all the way since, I believe it was spring 2019, not being able to get past the semi-finals of any Newell tournament, is now firmly in the lead in game 2 when they are 1-0 up over 5 washed up randoms, looking to take this game and ultimately take this series.
Mystical journey, you know, mostly Grumpy having the fun that he can with the bard, but maybe five washed up randoms name rings true now, because I don't see a dominant team in these games so far. I've seen Cabbage Family completely destroying the macro and micro game.
Yeah, no, it's again, it goes back to just, you know, analysis never coming true. I said whilst we were going pre-game 1 here that I was expecting a very close series like we saw in the first game that these guys played with each other, and that's just completely not ringing true. The first game was close for a bit, but then the lead was kind of gotten, and here Cabbage Family is just so firmly in the driver's seat. The onus is absolutely on 5 washed up randoms to turn this game around, and what is it that you think they have to do to try and get that advantage? Because quite frankly, I'm lost for words.
I mean, five washed up randoms just completely missed the point of their comp once again. The point is to scale. It's to scale, get the damage on the Kog'Maw, just play around the Kog'Maw. It feels like they're going in so deep and the Kog'Maw isn't able to get to the team fights, and when he does, he just gets popped.
Yeah, and, you know, it's one of these questions where, you know, you have to ask, with them now being on Soul Point, they have to be wary that, you know, again, you can't just scale without Drakes in today's meta. Drakes are so influential on the Soul, as even though there's no particularly tanky members for the side, of Cabbage Family, it's still going to matter quite a lot.
Herald started off quite late. He's got 40 seconds to complete that one. Reminder that the Herald, if it's being triggered by auto attacks, won't despawn as early as if it isn't. So Victoria also going back. I don't see Washed Up Randoms even contesting this. They're just letting Cabbage run the map completely, especially with the Bard. If he has free map control, he's so strong.
Yeah, and at this point, 3 dragons up, a Rift Herald this close to 20 minutes is just the icing on the cake, because this Baron comes up here, or perhaps the Dragon in 2 minutes 40. If they just place the Rift Herald down sort of on the other side of the map, or exacting map pressure somewhere else, 5 Washed Up Randoms are going to have to make a choice between whether they want to concede Soul, or let perhaps multiple towers go down as the split push comes in here from the Fiora. Alphamos really just playing this pick fantastically.
I just got word from our producer that the first Herald's name is Shelly and the second Herald's name is Shirley. So just in case you guys are wondering at home what to call the Heralds, that's apparently what it is.
Shelly and Shirley. Gee.
Shelly and Shirley.
I'm not gonna lie, I prefer Harry because at least then I can tell the difference. But Shelly and Shirley, I'm gonna get them messed up and confused 100% of the time.
Alphamos polymorphed by bipolar, but he's just able to walk away scot-free as Victoria was distracted with the minions. Meanwhile, Gregors just seems to be sieging on his own. He's Hex Flash coming in. He finds himself in the wrong scenario. Sarah's charging him down. But at the end of the day, the phase rush isn't enough because the Kog'Maw and the Lulu weren't close enough. Tempered Fate coming down, it's Seraph and Bipolar. Seraph is so low right now. Lulu forced to use the Wild Growth on him. The Stand United also used, and at the end of the day, he ends up living.
Yeah, managing to get out there with all of the shields in the world that are coming in from the Lulu to try and help him out is going to be really good there, in terms of how that play could have went. Managing to get himself out, only really having to burn the ultimate is kind of what he's going to be looking for, making the best out of a bad situation. Ultimately, do have to use the lot of resources, but not losing anyone is going to be ideal in this situation. And we need, I think, to see what we're not seeing currently from 5 Washed Up Randoms is just better vision play around the map. They've got tons of vision in their own jungle, but for this Drake, which they need to contest for Soul, we have zero vision with it.
Actually.
Yeah, so I don't know when or how they're planning to get this vision in there, but it's worth also remembering, they can go for Soul right now and force a very uncomfortable fight, now sitting on just short of a 10k gold lead, just 9k currently, I believe it's sitting at. Or they could just concede, 1 or 2 Drakes, but at the same time, use this Fiora, use this Corki to just get pressure everywhere else. But it does look like it.
Before the Drake comes up, I wanted to actually catch a look at the individual gold leads, because I'm looking at Corki right now, and he has a massive advantage on that Vladimir. Ezreal also has a massive advantage on this Kog'Maw. It's literally pretty much a 2.4k separating Corki and Vladimir, and separating the Kog and the Ezreal is a 1k difference. Meanwhile, Pop and Sean are just going to end up securing the Mountain Soul for their team. That's 2 Mountain Drakes as well. Their team is squishy, but now with a Mountain Drake, are they really squishy?
Yeah, and they're rotating straight up here from the Baron this game. As much as I don't want to write off, commentator's curse, I'm going to say something that's going to be immediately proven wrong. But this feels like the game that 5 Washed Up Random is really, it's theirs to win here at this point. They have to turn something around. They have to make a huge play here.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they do.
Sarah is very close to the pit. He knows that Baron is low. He's going to be used to this. That's X-Flash! Oh my word! And it's a Corki that picks up the Baron. Sarah is unable to pick it up. Lulu uses the Wild Growth. Meanwhile, the Ezreal catches Lulu with the 2-shot barrage and ends up cleaning up Sarah's as well. Double kill coming in for Gregors. I don't see how 5 Washed Up Randoms can recover from this. Shirley's just charging down the mid lane. These are going to be such free towers for them, as Alphamos is also taking bot towers.
Yeah, like we mentioned, the split push potential here from the side of Cabbage Family really being shown with Shelly coming into the base. We may even be able to see her do her little victory dance at the end. I really hope that comes through, but missing the inhibitor there. This game feels absolutely wrote off. This needs to be a huge play here from Barry, Nacho, and Victorio in order to return this fight. Sarah's getting absolutely
I
bursted.
feel so terrible calling Cabbage Family the underdogs because it just feels to me that five washed up randoms just rolled into this one not prepared enough. Barry flashes into their team, uses the ultimate as well. Stand United coming on, and Pop just picks up by Bowler, and it's just gonna be a massacre coming in for the Cabbage Family as the Vladimir, the Kog'Maw, everyone being brought down. The ace coming down, and this is it, guys. The Newell Summer Cup 2020 finals brought to you by Red Bull ends up in a 2-0 sweep for the Cabbage Family. We weren't expecting this, were we, William?
No, not at all. The worst part of this, I mean, I was hoping this would go to a game 3 series. I was hoping this would be as tight as the first time these two teams met, but clearly Cabbage Family have been, doing their practice, doing their research, and ultimately what that makes it seem like is that we haven't done any research. I promise we have. It really did seem like going into this, Cabbage Family were the underdogs, but I mean, at the end of the day, talk about a redemption story, breaking the semifinals curse, managing to make their way to the first time for finals, and what better way to end the storyline than to win their first Null tournament, breaking the curse, especially against such a team which we thought were going to be a dominant. Clearly, did not end up going that way.
When our colleagues Xir and Xir, it was Gazir and sorry guys, I'm so bad with names, but it was Gazir and Callum. Yeah. When Gazir and Callum casted the semi-finals, they were casting a Cabbage Family game. I recall. I was like,
yeah,
these guys have a semi-final curse. They've never made it past semi-finals. It's kind of like if you watch football, it's kind of like Manchester United this season. They made it to 2 semi-finals as well and just completely got knocked out of all 3. So, I mean, coming into this tournament and winning it all, such a decisive final. We weren't expecting a 2-0 sweep. I was expecting a hard-fought battle between both of them because they both have such strong individual laners. They've both been together for 2 years, I recall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting, a hard-fought. Well, I'm not saying that the 5 washed-up randoms did poorly in these 2 games because by no means they didn't. They were just outperformed altogether by the Cabbage Family, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say, and I believe I'll bring up their description here, not to embarrass them, but 5 washed up random says in their win conditions, win throughout the game, use scaling, superior macro, and better team fighting mechanics to win the game. They didn't have better scaling, they didn't have superior macro, and they definitely did not have better team fighting. And at the end of the day, that's what lost them not just the games, but the tournament as well.
I just want to note that Greg has actually finished with a perfect KDA on the second game as well. So he's died 0 times during the 2 games. So hats off to him. Meanwhile, guys, we're bringing in the jungler for the Cabbage Family. He played Graves and he played... What was the first champion that he played? William, come on, help me out.
Evelyn.
Yeah, he played Eve in the first game as well. So Eve first game, Graves second game. We're bringing in Pop from the Cabbage Family. Is he with us at the moment?
I hope so. I'm not sure if my mic works.
Not with us, just here.
Yeah,
Welcome to the broadcast, Pop. We just wanted to get your opinion on how the 2 games fared, like compared to the preparation that you've done. How did you guys pull off such different play styles in the first and the second game?
So I think Coventry plays like a certain, basically like 3 versions of like the same type of composition in the kind of games we played against them, because we were able to like see the other like playoffs games they played, and then we played in the regular season quite often. So we were kind of able to tell or we had like a rough idea of what they were going to go for. So picking stuff like Ezreal and Kog'Maw and things that usually just have like long range, we thought were just like good answers to what they usually play. I actually think their draft was a lot better in game 2. I really liked their adaptation, but we were just able to
Adapt better.
Yeah, we were able to just like play a little bit better on the day. So that's cool.
I just want to mention, I'm not sure if you heard during the broadcast, but Gregors didn't die a single time in both games. What did you think of his performance today?
Yeah, I think Greg played really well. I mean, yeah, the Ezreal lanes are really cool because you can kind of just like leave them alone. So that's kind of what we did in both games. Pyke was like barely bot lane, and we were able to get XP leads on both. And then when you pair it with something like Bard, you actually get XP leads in both. So
Yeah, we saw that performance come out, a stunning one from him. And I, if anything, I have to apologize going into this from the notes and the research we did. We said this is a weak side bot lane, and Gregors is used to playing that. But you know, weak is not anything you could label his performance at all. And speaking of good performances, yourself as well, especially on that Evelyn in the first game, really coming in clutch and dealing monster amounts of damage, managing to get the picks when it matters, and even into such a heavy CC comp. So well done to yourself, and congratulations on the win.
yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. This was Pop, the jungler and the shot caller for the Cabbage family. They're from the University of Kent. Once again, thank you so much for being my broadcaster today. This is William Dusk, everyone. Dusk Smash on Twitter, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, got it. And I am Skullsir on Twitter as well. Once again, we thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for Red Bull, Amazon, Student Esports. And don't forget to join the Newell Discord and start your journey today at discord.gg/thenewell. We'll see you guys next split. We have the winter split and we have regular competition coming up for League of Legends. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you so much, Pope, for joining us today as well.